Craig's stuff. Craig's stuff. Craig's got a lot of stuff. Yeah. Craig's stuff. Craig's stuff. Craig's got a lot of stuff. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Craig's Stuff. My name is Craig, and this is some of my stuff today. On our very holiday-themed episode of Craig's Stuff, we are taking a look at the appropriate figure. We have the brand new Figura Obscura, or Mythic Legions, or whatever. 4 Horsemen, Figura Obscura, which is their new line, I believe. Krampus. Very, very excited about this figure. This was a limited release, only available on their website. And this is really, really cool. So I'm very excited about this figure. Look at the gorgeous packaging on this guy. This is fantastic. This beautiful Krampus portrait there. Got the 4 Horsemen logo. I love all the snowy, the trees and the, comes onto the back. And it's gorgeous. There's some information back there. If you can see it and you want to pause it, feel free. 4 Horsemen logo on the top, some stuff at the bottom. Very, very cool. And I'm very excited about this thing. So, as you may or may not know, I love Mythic Legions. I got into them this year. So, it's a 2021 thing for me. And I got really, really into them. I love them. They're easily one of my favorite toy lines that I collect. So, without further ado, I think it is time that we pop this sucker open. Now, I believe they plan on releasing this figure in some other form later down the line. I'm not exactly sure. And have a more wide release. But look at this packaging. Let's take this off. So this, first of all, this is magnets. That's always cool. But this comes off completely. This piece. Now I'm a big. Then there's Krampus in there. Really, really cool. Let's take a look at the artwork on the back here. Oh, look at that. That's awesome. Really, really cool. But this comes off completely, revealing this gorgeous little artwork on the inside. This is fantastic. Now, I tend to throw most of my packaging out. I'm going to have to think about this one because this is really cool. At the very least, I'm sure I'll keep this because this is just a cool backdrop. You could use this for photos or whatever you want to do. It's pretty cool. Alrighty, so here's our boy Krampus. But before we talk about him, we got to talk about his accessories. And we get a nice assortment here. First off, we get his little bundle of sticks, which I believe he uses to beat children with. I honestly, I don't know the whole Krampus story too well. I think that's what he does. I think that's his whole shtick. Get it? Shtick, sticks? I don't know. Anyway, then you got his tail, which I believe you're supposed to just be careful with this because I saw a couple people break theirs. So I think I'm going to heat this up before I stick it into Krampus's little butt. Then you get 2 alternate hands. So we get these are grabbing hands. The ones that are on him are like just kind of open clawed hands. So, it's cool we're getting these different, these are newer Mythic Legions hands, I guess. All the old ones are pretty much just like gauntlet type hands. These are actual claws or just skin type hands. Then we get these little jingle bells. I think this just goes around his neck. Not really too sure. Then you got your little handcuffs, I guess. Cuffs. Those are cool. Very nice. Real chain, too. Very nice. Then you have your little basket and your twine. Now, what always bothers me about 4 Horsemen figures is they give you this kind of stuff and they just say, just figure it out. Just figure out how it goes on. There's no instructions to properly put this stuff on. I know a lot about the 4 Horsemen stuff is customizing, but they show photos of this and it's just like, oh, how the hell am I supposed to tie it on? I got to figure out exactly how to do it. Now the last thing I was a little surprised was when I popped open the little thing here, I didn't know we're getting some extra goodies. Look at this. A bunch of stuff in there. First we get a skull, which is the one with the movable jaw too. That's just a plain old skeleton head. So that's cool because you can just use that for skeletons. Then you get, let's see, a lot of stuff, extra stuff in here. Wow, you're getting 2 skulls. You get this one, I guess, doesn't have the movable jaw, I guess. That's crazy. You're getting 2 alternate skulls. Those are great. And then these are skeleton hands. Oh my god. This might be the first time I've ever seen these. Oh, wow. This is awesome. You get these little skeleton hands. Look at these. Very cool. And then you, of course, get the belt. So, you got your little basket. And you can pop the lid closed. A lot of cool stuff here. That's really cool. I didn't realize that you get all this extra stuff. So that's fun. I like that. Now let's take a look at the figure. Alrighty, so here is our boy Krampus, and he looks really good. I mean, the head sculpt is amazing, but most of this figure is just reuse. With the 4 Horsemen, they tend to just reuse parts constantly. I mean, we're seeing this, like, almost every single figure has reused parts on it, which, I mean, I get, but, you know, it's kind of crazy. I mean, how much reuse we get, you know, every wave. I know the new waves tend to get some new parts or whatever, but it's like, it's nuts. And he looks good. There's really not too much paint, though, going on this figure. Sculpt-wise, you know, it is what it is. It looks really good. They did a great job, and, you know, it's just like any other figure that's used this sculpt before. So it's really, really good. But the paint, there really isn't too much. There's just like this kind of shiny gunmetal on the armor and just black paint for his skin color. A little fur here looks good with the red straps and the different tones there as well. And his head, though, his head is honestly the biggest part of this figure, and it is gorgeous. They're really, really cool. I think they did a great job. I mean, the tongue looks fantastic. The teeth underneath, the eyes on there. It's really, really cool looking. The horns look good with that brown over the black. I love the white dry brush. Really brings out all the details on there. Really, really cool. Now let's move on to articulation. Alrighty, so for articulation, I made sure I put his tail on, which I did. I made sure to heat up both the tail and the hole. I just used some hot water, so it's actually might be a little bit wet underneath there. I definitely recommend doing that. I could tell if you spin this, possibly, you know, it might be too tight or whatever, and like you don't want it to totally twist off, because you can see, like, if I spin it a little bit, it doesn't really go, and I don't want to break the plastic, so just got to be careful with that. But you know, it is on a ball joint, so the tail will move up, down, left, right, and will go all the way around. You just got to be careful. Continuing from the head, he goes up, he goes down a little bit, he tilts side to side, and he goes all the way around. He's pretty hindered by this like big neck joint, so you're not going to get him obviously to look down, but it's all right. Then the arms do go up to a 90-degree angle. They go down. They go all the way around as well. He has a single jointed elbow that only goes in just about that much. He spins at the elbow. He spins at this point in the wrist, and he also spins at the lower point in the wrist. And there is up, there is down at the wrist joint as well. Then he spins at the waist. He goes forward. He goes back. He goes side to side with that tilt. It's just on a ball joint, so you kind of get that whole thing all the way around. His legs are a bit loose, at least on my figure. They're quite loose. Which isn't too big of a deal, because the legs usually can just be popped right out. And if you need to, what I've done in the past is you pop the legs out completely, put a little bit of like super glue around it just to tighten it up a little bit. Let the glue dry and then put it in. That's worked for me in the past. What I love about Legions is that they get that full straight forward leg and straight back, because they don't really have any butt sculpted in. So it allows them to go straight back with the feet. He has the upper thigh cut there. There is a single jointed knee. He also spins at the knee. And at the feet, they only go forward just a little bit, and they go back just a little bit. And there is a nice ankle pivot. Now comes the tricky part of trying to figure out how the heck to put this thing on his back. All right, so I think we'll try to figure this out together. We have, of course, the little ring here, which I imagine you want to put this through like that, and that would be probably step one. And then these are supposed to go around his shoulders. So, oh God. Maybe to do this off camera. I saw from the pictures online, it looked like this goes like this, and you kind of go around the other side. I think that probably makes sense. Just tie it around the back like that. At least properly tie it, of course. Yeah, I think that's going to be the way to go. All right, so that's kind of how I did it. I just looped it around his shoulders and just tied it right there around the back. You know, this might not be the proper way to do this, but I guess it works. It's not a big deal. I'm sure somebody out there figured out a more proper way. This could be the right way, and I just don't know. So Krampus stands just about 7 inches tall, a little over 7 inches to the top of his horn. Here he is next to the McFarlane Toys Geralt from The Witcher. Here he is next to the SH Figuarts Ultra Instinct Goku. And here he is next to the Marvel Legends Gibbon. Alrighty, so overall, I love this figure. Honestly, Mythic Legions they've been so much fun to play with, to pose, to customize. It's just such a good line. And the Four Horsemen stuff has just been just a lot of fun, and I really enjoy this figure as well. Again, it's not without its problems, but it is very cool for the first figure for their Figura Obscura line. So hopefully we get some sweet stuff from those guys in 2022, and this is awesome. Anyway, if you like this review, make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Please check out my Instagram. It's at Craig Stuff. Everybody have a very happy holiday. Merry Christmas. Have a happy new year. I don't know if my next video will be out before the new year, to be completely honest. I don't know. I will see you guys next time. Later.